Am I in?
Online.
Hi, guys. Oh, get out there. Mary R., Roberta, Betty, Kathy Girl. Hello, everybody. Goodies out here. All right. One of those. One of those. 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 Stop it. One of those. Those. Thank you for the confirmation, Betty. These. 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 There. One of those. Okay. We got a kit. I need 10 of these. This orange ribbon. Alrighty. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? I have here my butterfly quotes. I have 4 or 5 pages of them. Now, here's an interesting bit of trivia. Can you move the screen down a little bit so I can see the comments that are blocked by the arm, please? Just move either the arm or the TV. There we go. Okay. We have 4 pages. Now here's my trivia for the day. For those of you who love trivia, the word butterfly does not appear in the King James Version of the Bible at all. However, it's widely accepted that the butterfly is symbolic for the soul. So there's something for you to think about while we work. I'm going to set aside all these layering pieces for now so that I have just the pieces I need for my kit ready to go. Now you may be confused as to, I didn't explain it very well, why I pre-cut all of the pieces for your box. And the reason for that is that I spent lots of time figuring out which pieces would work the best for the different layers, leaving us with the images that we wanted. And I didn't want everybody to have to do that. So I'm going ahead and cutting those up so that you will have all the images that we use here when you assemble yours. Betty's under the weather. Oh no. I'm sorry. Hi, Kathy girl. Hi, Thelma. All right. Let's just get started here, shall we? We're going to start with our 12 by 12. Take this little ring off so it doesn't have me scoring unevenly. All right. So we're starting with our 12 by 12, and we know from our chart that that's our extra, extra large. So I'm going to start out here. I'm going to score it down. I know you guys know this, but it will help me keep track of what I'm doing if I narrate while I'm doing it. So I just heard about the earthquake in Alaska. I was up all night getting our sale posted. Did you guys all find the sale stuff? I haven't even looked at orders. That's how long I've been up. I'm going ahead now and following my corner score line down to the intersection of my two lines so that we can form our box from this piece. We're going to go ahead and trace our extra, extra large heart on here, on our corners. Okay. If you haven't found it yet, there are some unbelievable deals out there. My goal was to knock your socks off when you looked at it. I'm guessing, based on almost 500 listings and the fact that most of those are 50% or more off of retail, that I accomplished that goal. There's a whole bunch of them that are way more than 50% off. We had 48 boxes delivered yesterday, but Whitney's here for the first time today, so we just cracked into them. Oops, I didn't get my full line on there. Oh, Selma, you're funny. Well, there's some really good ones out there. I gotta say. Okay, got my extra large template traced on all the way around. This is the only layer on which we're going to use that. A word of caution when you go to cut these parts off is don't go too deep. If you go too deep, your box will gap at the sides. So go just to where it meets the line. True confession time. When I made my sample box, I did not realize that I had the wrong template. And so I ended up with a double heart line on one of my panels. In a minute, I'll show you what I did about it. Because it didn't look good, I thought, well, maybe I can just get by with it. It won't show. It showed. So I had to fix it. And there is a really easy fix if you have to cover one of these outside panels. You're just going to take a 4x4 square and put it on your board and draw the diagonal line. Oops, just a little. Draw the diagonal line through it. Glue it on over the offending panel, right over the top of the other one. Flip it over like we're covering a card and cut around your heart again. And no one will ever know, except maybe it's just a little bit heavier on that side, that there was a problem underneath. So that's how I fixed it. I'll show it to you. You would not know if I hadn't just told you, and the fact that my sample will be just a tad different than my original, that there was ever a problem. This is the panel right here I replaced. And no one would ever know I did that. Okay. I should pre-score this a little bit. I don't know why I didn't do that before I started cutting today, because it's sure a lot easier to see where your lines are. Okay, so we have scored on the extra line, extra large line. We've diagonal scored from the corner of our board to the intersection of the two lines that we created when we pulled down our scoring tool on the extra large line. We used our extra large template to draw our hearts in the corner. We are now, we put the point of the heart and the sides of the heart right along the corner lines, that 4-inch square in each corner. And then you're drawing just the top of the heart, just down to where it touches the corners. And we're not cutting down any further than we have to take out the corner line. We're in. We got it. Got our outer panel finished. Now, I actually think this is pretty darn pretty. If I can say it that way. I think this is really pretty, the way this 4-panel works out. I'm just scoring in on all of my lines, including my diagonals. Well, the good news is I don't have Rocky playing. That means that you can still hear the buzzing from my, maybe hear the buzzing, but I think this actually works out really pretty. Look at the panels that you get. You get Faith in that corner. You get just the top of the birdhouse here, but we're going to cover this part with a little picture. We have Dream on this corner, which I think is pretty, and we have all of her butterflies on this corner. So our outer box is done. Let's go to our next one in line, which will be this one. This is our 11-inch. Make sure I have everything stacked right here. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Perfect. So next time, our 11 by 11 is going to be our extra large line. So let's go to extra large and pull that down. 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 Now you guys know that you have a lot of flexibility concerning the types of pockets that you make here. What I liked was the double flap pockets. So I'm going to make those. And in order to do that, I could do this with a ruler if I wanted to. I could, and we have before, drawn a line across the diagonal and cut off those flaps. But I'm going to choose instead to use my long blade scissors, and I'm just going to eyeball it from corner to corner. So I'm starting at this corner, and I'm cutting this to this corner. I'm going to eyeball it here, and I'm going to go from corner to corner. So I'm going to go from here to here, which makes this much faster. Do you have any more of this paper pad? I will let you know, Roberta, when I'm done making kits. I'm still working on them. So I have everything pulled out to make the kits, but I think I can help you. Okay, so I cut the corners off of this one. Now I'm going to, these make really pretty pockets. Now I'm going to cut in to my first line. Didn't clip it quite far enough. Glue that down. Stop it. No, it's not going to show it now. Okay. I'm going to bring this one in. If you need to make any adjustments in your score line, this is the time you'll do that. Sometimes it's useful to kind of refold these just a little bit. But see, I think that makes a really pretty pocket right there. Beautiful. And I snagged that just a little. If I wanted to, I could lay one of these back over the top of that, or I snagged that. In fact, I might do that. See what I mean by I snagged it? It tore just a little bit. I tried to lay it back over the top and it wouldn't go. So I'm going to put one of these solid colors here, because part of my point and part of my purpose in going through this assembly with you is to give you some tips and tricks for covering up errors and doing that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that panel right on there. So then I won't have this little, I won't have that little snag there. So I think I'll take some tape to do that job. And I will do that as soon as I find the end of my tape roll. There it is. Okay. And I'm going to come across like this. Move my tape here. I'm going to put this right on top of that panel. No one would ever know that there's an error there. There. Now, let's glue that down. Glue bottle. And I'm just going to put the tiniest line across the bottom here. I'm going to repeat that tiny line on the other side. And I'm going to put it just a little ways up to hold my pocket together. I'll hold this for just 1 second. Let that. They're really varied, Thelma, although the imagery in the Heartfelt Creations paper pads is really stunning. This is the brightest one that I've seen overall, to just be overall bright, but the imagery in them is really quite beautiful. And there are a lot of papers in the Heartfelt Creations paper pads that will work really nicely for box making. You can see the detail of the paper pads. Isn't that pretty? Look at that, how that comes together. That's beautiful. You can see the detail in the paper pads on the Heartfelt Creations website. Just come back here to buy it if you would, please. But you can see the detail by looking at it doesn't say what the GSM is on this. My guess would be about a 60-pound cardstock. It's approximately 60 pounds. When you get it all assembled, though, it's a nice weight. It's not 300 GSM, but it is a nice weight in this box. Let's see, I think this is beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and put this down in the middle. And I'll decide which panels I want to be where. Sometimes different ones look better against different backgrounds. I like the way that looks right there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. When I show these box cards to people, they can't believe that the assembly of the box takes just a couple of hours to finish. They think it's a days-long project, not an hours-long project. Okay, my next one is this bright orange. We've done extra, extra large. We've done extra large. This one's going to be following the 10 by 10 line, which is my large. So I'll just pull these down on the line that says large. And once again, I'm going to have 3 creases this time. So keep your triangle cutoffs until you're done in case you want to cover anything. You can cover a mistake. You can cover if you don't like the way a piece looks on the back. You can cover lots of things. So keep your triangle cutoffs until you're finished. I found them to be especially useful for this kit where we have front and back paper that are not blank. Okay, I'm going to make pockets going the opposite direction this time. I'll cut into my line from the 2 sides. We have quite a few. In fact, Brittany would tell you an annoying number of Heartfelt Creations paper pads in stock, not because they're not beautiful, they're totally beautiful, but because Brittany finds it annoying that I have so many of them to work around. But there's a pad for just about any theme, I'm telling you. There's lots and lots of florals. And there's some beautiful winter themed ones. With the beautiful blues, it'd make a wonderful wintertime box. Look how pretty these work out. See? Even though it has the other pattern on the back, they just work out really pretty. Go ahead and put my little line of glue at the bottom. Fold it over. Put my little line of glue. Now don't put, when you go up the side, just go up a little ways. Just enough to hold your pocket together and not enough to seal it off. Okay, there we go. And we'll take this. I want my pockets to go the opposite direction this time. It's coming together beautifully already, isn't it? Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And see, look at the back. That's pretty on the back. because there's so much floral, the little bits of floral are really attractive, not distracting. They're mostly attractive. Let's see. I'll go this way this time. Center that inside my other one. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, we got that one done. Next, we want this pink one. We just did large, so that would mean the next one we've done our 12, 11, 10. So this is my 9-inch piece. Again, I'm keeping all those corners till I see if I want anything when I'm decorating. This will be my 9-inch piece, which is going to make this my medium line, according to my nifty-jifty little chart on the side here. I really like having this little chart on the side to keep me straight when I'm working on this. I did the little pockets again on this one, the double pocket. Of course, you can make your panels plain. You can make your panels wrap around. You can make your panels the half size. You could make a gatefold. There are so many different ways that you can make these panels. But I'm going to do the fold around again. Yep, because that's what I did last time. And I'm going to trim off my corners. I'm finding that for my purposes, just eyeballing this is just fine. If you want that extra bit of precision, drawing a line with your pencil or pen and your ruler from corner to corner is great. But I'm finding for my purposes it's working out just fine to do it this way. Okay. And this is the one piece that has like these little tags on it that I wasn't as happy with the way that they wrapped around. I love the way most of them do it. So when I do this one, I may just take my cut-off corners that I just did, because I've got a couple really pretty cut-offs. These are beautiful. And cover up the tags, because it's easy enough to do that. Although the tags don't look bad, it still looks okay. But if I want to, I do have these pretty corners I can attach on top. So we'll decide about that momentarily. Look how much prettier that is. Okay, cutting into my intersection line on both sides. And this one's really pretty, the way the flowers come together. I don't mind those little bits of wrought iron. I think that's pretty too. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue this down on one side. I'm going to put a flower piece over that. Oh, wow, Biddy. That's a cool fact. On her mom's side of the family, on her dad, she's related to Mark Twain. Huh. On your, I missed the comment. Look back up in the comments and tell me who else she's related to. As she said, up above. Okay, I'm gluing this on all corners, or on all sides, because I'm just going to pop this pretty little triangle in there, because I don't like the tag so much showing from the back, because this side shows. And
like the James game. Jesse started. Donna says Jesse was her fourth cousin.
Okay, I'm going to glue this bottom line.
And it says her great grandmother was a James. She remembers him hiding in their barn.
Oh wow, that's cool. All right, and I'm going to put this on top of this panel. One of the reasons I wanted to do this is because I could see, since we started with double-sided paper, I could see you guys were hesitant to take on double-sided paper, that not everything looked like it was going to be a natural match. And one reason I wanted to do this was to show you that you can do all kinds of fun little things to piece over. And that's just not even difficult. All I'm doing is using my cutoffs. They're already cut for me. So I'm going to bring this down here. I'm going to go the opposite direction of my last pocket. I'm going to glue this on the bottom. The more of these you do, the faster it gets. I'm telling you, it really gets pretty easy to follow. Probably the most time-consuming part of this was just planning where I wanted my papers to be and which papers I thought would work the best in order. And okay, so let's see. My next panel I made into just a panel. I clipped the corners clear out of my next one. And that is going to be, this is 12, 11, 10, 9. So this is going to be my 8-inch piece. Yeah, 7, 6. Going to be my 8-inch piece. Okay. And 8 is my small line. Pull it down. Pull it down. Pull it down. And pull it down. This time, I opted to clip these out entirely. Now, these would all be beautiful pockets on the back if I decided that I wanted pockets here. Do I want pockets here? No, I think I want some panels. I want some panels to put some of my pretty quotes on and some of my pretty art. So I am going to go ahead and clip these out. Get that one clipped quite out. Let's try that again. Wasn't quite on my cut line. It's hard when you know you can do fun pockets and things to just clip out these. I feel like I want to do something different on every one of them, you know. But sometimes doing something different means actually taking the pieces out so you have room for those quotes and room for the pretty art pieces. And there's so many beautiful art pieces in this kit that you can use. Okay, fold these up. Put glue on the bottom here. And this looks so subdued compared to the other pieces of paper under it, but we have bright, beautiful pieces to put on top. So that was my medium. Let's see. So I had 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. This means I'm going to 7. And my 7 is extra small. Okay, this time I'm going to make my pockets kind of pinwheel style, and I'm going to make a pocket all the way around. Crease these down so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm going to clip my corners up as normal. Corner to corner. And look how pretty this one's going to be. This time I'm going to, I want the green on the inside. So I'm going to fold my butterflies so they create a half flap over my green. So I'm going to clip in and glue. Now I'm taking a quarter turn. I'm going to clip the next one. Instead of going to the other side, I'm just going to keep going around and creating a half pocket all the way around here, bringing those pretty pink butterflies to the front. Just a line across the bottom only this time. And you kind of get this little pinwheel effect. Looks pretty. This is the last of our regular flaps. Okay. I'm going to... You can see where I was cutting? Okay. I trimmed off my corners like I usually do. Cut it here. Hi, Glenda. And then I cut in. I folded one flap. Then I turned my box. I cut in. I folded one flap over. I turned my box. I cut in. I folded one flap over. I cut in. I folded one flap over. Okay. Hi, Annette. So I basically did the same thing I've been doing, Roberta, except that this time I rotated only a quarter of a turn and I cut each pocket and folded it individually. All right, that's the last of those. Now it's time to make our pretty little box for the center. I chose this one this time, which is a little different than what I chose last time, but I thought this was pretty because the box would be pretty inside and out. This one is my 6x6 paper. So I'm going to score on my extra small line. And we are making a box this time. So this time we're going to come in from the corner and we're going to put in that diagonal line. On all four sides. Now either side of this would be pretty as my box. Beautiful, actually. But I want it to be fairly simple, I think. So I'm going to leave the green on my outside. So I'm going to go ahead and score this. Now I'm going to score my corners in. This is where my paper clips are going to come in handy. As I figure out which drawer I put them in. There they are. Okay. I'm going to crease these down tight. So I get nice square corners on my box. Now I'm going to put glue in this area. I glue all of that. And then I'm also going to glue on one side of the flap. So that I've already glued in my valley. Now I'm going to glue my valley to the side of my box, squaring off my box on just that corner. Hi, Brenda. And I've got that nice square corner now. I'm going to do that to the next corner. If I had a tip about this, it would be to be sure and get your glue to the edges here. I'd rather clean off a little bit of extra glue than have gaps. So I'm putting glue in the center, and I'm putting glue on one side of that flap on the inside. Let me show you this before I actually tack it down. So I've got glue here on this panel. Yeah, sorry about my inky fingers still. Still have ink under my nails. And on this panel, so I'm going to close this panel, my valley. I'm going to push that down against the side of my box inside. And I'm creating a really nice tight box there. Hi, Stephanie. Okay. Now I'm going to glue this inside channel again. So far I haven't had to use my paper clips. This paper seems to hold the glue really well, and once I tack it, it wants to stay, which is probably different because I think our other paper where we were having to kind of hold that with paper clips and stuff was slightly glossy, and this is matte, so it's taking the glue much better. And I'm not having to fight it at all. So finding my paper clips was not even necessary. You have a little glue on my fingertips. Roll off. Okay, next up, I've got this last little channel. I'm going to put glue in there. Get a nice coat of glue on the inside there, right up to the edges. I'm going to come inside and glue on one flap. Push that down to the side of my box. And there we go. We have a nice, sturdy little box for our gift or message, whatever that might be. Okay, now I'll glue my box to the center of my card. And just kind of center it there. There we go. Time to make some lids. So I'm going to bring my lids on over. I've got my small 4.5 by 4.5 inch square. This time I'm going to use the line that says lid, and I'm going to score all 4 sides.
Thelma's asking if you've tried glossy paper with alcohol ink on your gel plate.
I need help with that. Maybe that's what I didn't do right, Thelma. I put alcohol ink on my gel plate, but I was not getting good results. So is it glossy paper only that I want on my gel plate? That might be where I was going wrong, because I think I was using matte paper.
And he was also asking, do you think it would be easier to decorate the individual layers before attaching them
I think it
to
might
each
be.
other?
I think it actually might be, Betty. That's a great idea. I think that's a terrific idea. I bet that's what you're doing, isn't it? Smart lady. Okay. All right. Because this is a box, it's a lid, but it's actually using box format. I had to score in from my corners for this one, just down to the intersection line. I'm going to fold those corners in, and I'm going to do the same thing we just did. I will be gluing the corners. Do you want to glue this for me while I make the next one? Do you see what I'm doing? You weren't watching, were you? Fill in this area here. Fill it in nicely with glue right out to the edges.
Squeeze them together.
And then glue one side of the panel. It doesn't really matter which one. Glue one side here so that when you press it all together, it presses right up against the side of the box. Okay.
We'll find out.
Whoop. While he does that, we'll get our other lid going here. I'm going to go 1, 2. That's actually a really good idea, Thelma. That makes perfect sense to me that I needed glossy paper. I'll try that again with glossy this time and see if that's what the problem was. It just wasn't picking up the ink right at all. And it was just kind of leaving it on my gel plate and just making kind of a mess. Because I said I failed miserably, the alcohol on the gel plate. But it makes perfect sense that in order to pick that up, it should have been glossy paper. It just didn't even dawn on me. Because you use alcohol on glossy paper. Otherwise, although I actually made those cardstock sheets. It did take a lot of alcohol ink to do the cardstock sheets, but I made those cardstock sheets on regular cardstock. So that's a great idea. I'm going to try that again because I think that must be what the problem was. I know other people are doing it, so it's got to be able to be done. But ooh, that one's coming out nicely. Time for a swig of soda. No, Barbara D. I handed it to Bryce and he's just gluing it for me so you guys don't have to sit and watch me glue. The other lid is perfect. He's just gluing it for me. Because I didn't think it would be fun for you guys to watch me glue repeatedly. This one's got a little bubble in it. Get my pen out here. Clear this. Looks like I got a little chunk of glue trying to work its way through. All right, so everything's fine. All right, squeeze those together. Nope, all the papers are going to be pre-cut for you in the right size in this kit too. Okay, now if I ever screw up anything, I just fess up. Because that's what I do. Because when we mess something up, it's a perfect opportunity to show what we can do to fix it. So if I mess up, you're going to know all about it. I know that a lot of you guys have played with some of these materials more than I have. And so I'm not trying to suppose anything when I take on something new and then I show you what I did. That doesn't make me an expert. It just means I played with it first. So, or I played with it before I came on and showed you what I did. I am really pleased with some of my mixed media work, though. It's been a lot of fun too. It's been a lot of fun to play with some of these other mediums. I'm thinking the gel plate is just too much fun. I love it just with ink. I mean, even just ink is beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay. I'm on the last corner here. Let's glue bottle this. Running a little slow. It kind of comes out more at a time than less at a time. I think it's got a little clot of glue in there. It's very, very hot here, and that's probably not helping my gluing. We are not used to this hot weather in Oregon. When we have some temperatures approaching the hundreds again over the weekend.
Annette wants to know if you got her email.
I haven't seen emails at all yet today, Annette. So I haven't seen it yet, but I promise I'll look at it, friend. I went to bed by the time I finished putting everything in the sale category and did the newsletter and finished my butterfly quotes last night, because this is just in time project making, you know. It was 10 o'clock when I went to bed today. It'll be 10:30 by the time I got to sleep. So I got up and came here. Oh, it has really, really been a scorcher in Oregon this year. My goodness. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is decorate this box lid and get my bows going. I need 2 bows. I'm going to get my bow maker out here. My carousel's grabbing my stencil and carrying it off. I have a little supplies carousel right off screen here. All right, let's make our bows first so we can get the glue on those and get those processing. I'm going to make, let's see, for the inside of my card, I think I want a 3-4. So I'm going to come to my third peg on my bow maker. I'm going to come across the face and I'm going to pick up number 3 again. I'm going to go to number 4.
Donna asks, what are you making?
What am I making right now? I'm making bows for the lids.
I think she means in general. What are you making? She's just joined the call.
Oh,
Say
Donna,
hi to Donna.
we are making butterfly explosion boxes right now. I will show it to you momentarily. Let me get this bow off my bow maker. We are using the Embellishment Attic bow maker. If there's anybody out there watching this later who doesn't know how to use this, this is just the coolest tool for making beautiful, beautiful bows. And we have a wonderful class in it. You can get this bow maker from us. It is very hard to find this bow maker in the United States. I think I'm one of the few that has it. I don't know of anyone else, actually. And we have lots of YouTube videos on using it. We'll do another bow class soon. We're actually due to do a bow class. So here's my pretty little bow. Just that easily pulled right off my bow maker. There we go. And I am we are not used to this heat at all, Mary R. Oh my gosh. And that's not even heat index stuff, although we don't have the moisture you guys have. So heat index is not as much an issue here as it is in places further east. For us, it's just the raw temperatures approaching 100. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit of best glue ever on here. I'll show you guys again how much I'm using. It doesn't take a lot. I prefer a narrow stripe to a bigger dot for 2 reasons. One, it gives me better coverage without soaking through. And 2, it doesn't take as long to dry. So I'm going to set this off to the side and let that dry somewhere where I can't throw my papers on top of it. Now I'm going to tie another one, and this one will be for the outside of my box. I'm going to use the same ribbon. I'm just going to tie the bow a little bit bigger. So this time, when we get to where we can get together again, Glinda, we'll do some practice on that bow making, okay? Get you comfortable with that. Okay, 4. I'm going to go 4, 5 this time. So I'm picking up just the number 4 peg. Now I'm going to go to the number 5 peg. And I'm going to come across the face of my bow maker and pick up number 5 on the other side. Because what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And if I want my bow to be equal, at least. And I'm going to come back to number 4. I'm going to come to number 4 on the other side. I will know I have it right if I can look at the back of my comb and it looks like that. See how I have 2 and 1? That's how I know I got it right. Then I'm going to clip my ribbon. May not have left myself much of a tail there. I might have to retie this and leave myself a little bit more of a tail. It'll probably be fine though. Okay, I came down through the hole, back up across that side, and I'm going to tie this off. This is single-faced ribbon, so I need to tie this. I'm just tying a half knot, and I'm tying this half knot so that the back of the ribbon is facing me. because what I'm looking at is the back of the bow. That's where I'm tying my knot, and now I'm going to slide it off my bow maker, and it comes off the bow maker all ready to go. See that? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm just going to arrange my tails a little bit, pull them down. I'm going to put some Best Glue Ever on here. You guys have heard this a million times, but I like the Best Glue Ever for my bows because it goes on in a liquid form, but it turns into a glue dot. So it really has the opportunity to bond with the fibers in this ribbon and give me a nice tight hold for my bows. But it goes on as a liquid and then it dries. So the trick to using the Best Glue Ever is you never apply your bow to your project until this is dry, which sounds totally counterintuitive. Just a little thin stripes on the back. Sounds totally counterintuitive, but when it's clear, it has turned into a glue dot, and now it's ready to use. If you use it before it turns into a glue dot, it's a mess. So you let it dry before you use it. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of my ribbon. For my outside of my box, I'm going to want my piece of ribbon to be long enough to wrap across the top of my box down and a little bit on the inside of my box. So my box lid is 4 inches wide. My lip on my box is 1 inch wide. It's got to go down the other side. That's adding another inch and a little bit of a tail. So I want 4 across the top plus 2 plus 4. That's 8 inches. I need this piece of ribbon to be about 10 inches long in order to accomplish what I need to do. You should have plenty of ribbon in your kit. You got 3 yards of ribbon to make 2 bows and cover your box lids. I'm going to get some of my hunky-dory finger lift tape, which is thinner. And I need to make sure that, yeah, I got the back facing me. I'm going to put my tape right down over the top of my ribbon. Try and get that pretty straight on there. Tear my tape off at the end. Rub that tape right into that ribbon. Good. How do you not let the glue show through the ribbon when you make the straight ribbon on top of the box? Because my glue showed through. I don't use glue. For the top of the box, Glenda, I'm using tape instead of glue. That's how I keep it from showing through. And this little bit of tape, even with organza ribbon, even if you're using that lighter weight ribbon, this little bit of tape isn't going to show much. I'm going to position this so that it's about centered on my box lid. Now I'm going to run it up the side like that. I'm going to bring it down on the inside. I'm going to take my nail and kind of shove it into that little seam there so I get it back in there. On the top of my lid. I'm going to come to the other side and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up and over. And I have my first piece on. I don't care that this looks messy because I'm going to put a liner in it anyway. And get myself another piece to go the opposite direction. I'm I'm going to make sure that my not shiny side is facing me. And I'm going to put my tape right down over the top of my ribbon. I'm going to rub it right into my ribbon. You notice how I'm tearing my tape in the center? It's way easier to tear it in the center and peel it back both directions than it is to start the tape on the end, because it will try to release from the fabric if you try to lift the tape at the ends like we normally would. I'm going to roughly center that. I'm going to come up on the side, wrap over the edge into my box and rub that down over the side into the inside. Run that into the corner with my nail, and I've got my ribbons on my box for the outside. Can I have your little box lid, honey? Where are you? Thank you. Thanks, Grace, for gluing that for me. I need enough to cover my 2-inch box lid, plus 2 inches, plus 2 more inches, and a little bit to go on the inside. So I have 2, 4, 6. I'm going to say this piece of ribbon needs to be about 8 inches each. Need to sharpen my scissors. Fortunately, I have just the tool for that. My Fiskars desktop scissor sharpener works wonders on these little cheap scissors. All right. Yep, just ran out of hunky-dory tape. Killed that roll. I have a spare standing by. Thank you, Mary R., for the reminder. If you guys are liking this and you find these videos useful, please mash that like button. And if you're not already subscribed to our videos, hit that subscribe button and you're never going to miss one and see what we're up to. We have all different kinds of videos. We have these live streams where we work together and we do the entire project. But we also have videos where we're showing just kind of the finished results and talking through them, and a variety of smaller project videos that don't run quite as long as these longer live streams do. Trying to get you a variety of different kinds of videos this year in keeping with our survey results. Okay, there's my little one across the top. I'll put my tape on here. Doesn't look like my bows are quite done yet, so we'll add those later. And let's start decorating our panels next, shall we? I do like Betty Gozel's idea of decorating as you go. I do think that would be a really nice way to be able to really see what you're doing, you know, because flipping the little tabs up back and forth can be a little cumbersome. It's fine. It's not a big deal, but it would be easier to do it well before they're assembled. So we'll watch for a little 2-inch scrap that we can use to line the inside of this box to cover up our work there. Okay, we have our 2 box lids ready to go. I'm going to check our bows, but And see, I still have little bits of white showing. Can you see that? That means it's not ready yet. I'm setting that back aside. Let those be. Now, let's look at our card. The first thing I want to do on my card is to decorate these 4 larger panels. If I want to. I mean, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to decorate these 4 larger panels first. I'm going to get myself 4 pieces of my 5x5 Miri. I use 5x5 because it's the smallest size they sell in a Miri stack. I know that each of these panels is 4x4, and I want it to be ever so slightly smaller. How long does it usually take for the liquid goo to get dry? That is a really good question, Barbara. It depends on how you apply it. If you apply it in a big dot, it can take hours to dry, literally. But if you use those little thin lines like we're using, 20 minutes maybe, thereabouts.
Donna asks if you sell bow color.
Yes, I do. We can link that for you. If you want to go out and grab that link, honey. We have 2 different styles. We have these little, this comes in a set of 2, which is handy. And they're big enough to do most bow making jobs. So we have this one, which is a set of 2 combs. And we also have one that's red. I don't have one sitting here on my desk right now. That's slightly larger. They run the same price. They're both ridiculous for a little piece of plastic, truly, but it's just what they run, guys. They make them, one company has the patent and they get to set the rules. I'm cutting my mirror board to be 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 because I want to allow just a little bit of maneuvering room here. So I'm going to put this, I probably could have gone with the 4x4, or maybe even just a 16th off. But what I'm doing is creating a panel for here. Now, let's go to our, I'm going to move this out of the way for now. Let's go to our clipping papers that will be included in your kit. And this sheet here has some really nice images for cutting down for these panels. And I'll show you which ones I had in mind for this.
I want to ask, do you have any ribbon crimps for the little pieces of ribbon that you cut off?
Ribbon crimps? I do not, Thelma. I just usually do it in I usually do a whale tail, and then it doesn't ravel. And I haven't found a need for a crimp, truly. So the bow makers are ridiculously priced for what they are, but when they're the best, they get away with that. Okay. I want to take a look at my papers that were included in my kit and kind of plan a little where I want these pieces to go. These pieces here, we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting on these. So we're going to cut some butterflies out on those. These pieces here, we're going to use for these little accent pieces that I put on the corners. I love the way that looks, by the way. I think that looks really fun to have those little kind of stamps there. These here are perfectly sized for one of our smaller panels. So we're going to use those. Hi, Sharma. And I'm going to use some of these larger ones to cover my big panels. So it seemed to me maybe this one. I think that we can use, we actually have plenty of choices here for our bigger panels. I'm going to use, I'm going to try at least, and see about putting one of these. These are 4 inches wide, or just a little under 4 inches, on this big sheet of cutouts that I gave you. Let's see what this will do if I use it here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this outer frame off. And I will be cutting length down somewhat too. But I think this is going to look nice because it's going to let my mirror board show around it. So I think what I will do is I'm going to cut this off here. And I'm going to cut this off here. And I'm still going to end up with a pretty little piece to go on that panel. And I'm going to go ahead and tape this down. Now when you're working with mirror board, remember that tape tends to work better than glue for Mary. I'm going to take just a little bit more off. I'm going to take some of that rounding off, so I get a nice little border around my print here. There we go. I like the way that looks. I'm going to put that down on there. Hello there. There's my blending brush stuck to my tape roll. You know you got too much stuff on your desk when that happens. Oh, that was pretty on the other side too. This is really pretty on the other side also. Almost tempted to use that. I love that. Isn't that pretty? I think I'm going to go with what I had though, because that leaves me room to put a little quote there if I want to. Okay. All right. A little tape on here. Okay. I like the way that looks at the top, which is actually my most important part right now. I'm going to go ahead and cut another one of these down. I think I'm going to go closer to 4 inches this time because I had more room than I used last time. So I'm coming just like a 16th off of 4 inches. And I'm going to use one of these others. This one is just a tad under 4 inches. I'm going to cut the length of it down to just probably 3 3/4. Maybe just a little bit more. Square it up. And I need to trim this just a little bit more on the top and bottom. Give it room to let my mirror board shine. That's going to look pretty. And I have another one of my panels ready to go. Put some tape on there. There we go. All right. I'm going to center this on my panel. Now see, all of these little things have room for personal notes, or they have room to put a little bit of a quote or saying in there. And there's, on our butterfly sheet, there's quite a few just short sayings too. I mean, you could put something really sweet and cute like, you're the wind beneath my wings. Just handwriting that into these panels would be beautiful. And even if you don't think your handwriting is good, sometimes that little handwritten element can add an extra special little touch to things. You kind of write it on a different piece of paper to plan for your writing and make sure it'll all fit, but it's a nice way to go. There's actually a few places on these papers where we have fun little cutouts. This one says a special hug for you on it. So that's a nice one. And that would be fun. Put on one of these. And they're very color coordinated too. Okay, so this one is already almost at my target width or height. I need to cut it down some for width. Let's see how this one does when I put it on a 5x5. You could stamp a sentiment, Brenda. That's a beautiful idea. That'd be great, actually, stamping a sentiment. Okay, so this one's still a little bit big, so I gotta trim a little bit more. Nice that they gave me cutting lines to look at. I'm gonna trim the length with my trimmer though, because I don't have a cutting line there. Let's see how this looks now.
Stephanie wants to add to her order, but she wants to know if her order she ordered today's been pulled.
Look at I did alert Ashley that she was probably going to have people wanting to add to their orders today. And I told her to take her time pulling them. So it may not have been pulled at all yet. Would you look and see? I mean, you can see in BigCommerce whether it's shipped.
Don't have BigCommerce passwords on these computers.
Okay. I'll have to check for you, Stephanie. It would surprise me if it were shipped out already, since I had alerted Ashley that there may be people wanting to add to their orders because of the big sale. Okay, got that one finally trimmed down to where I like it. So I'm going to attach this one. And we also have some really nice little sayings along the side here. I'm going to look and see what those say. I may just go ahead and put a couple of these little sentiments from right here on this paper right onto these. Oh, computer journaling's fun to do. That's a good idea. Look at you, Brenda. You clever girl. Okay. So I have 3 of those done. Now, what do I want to use for my 4th? I really have to find my rulers. I still haven't found it. Oh, I know how big this circle here is. The circle might be kind of fun on mirror board. It's 3.5 inches around, which I think is going to make that just about perfect. Okay, I'm going to take this circle right here for my 4th one. I'm just going to cut in and cut right around that circle. You also had another one there that would be beautiful, but this is going to be really pretty. Run this mirror board through an embossing folder if you want an extra little bit of richness. I didn't this time, but you could. I cut this down to my just a little under 4x4. To fit my panel. And I'm going to take my circle I just cut and put that right on there for my fourth one. Oh, Mary R., there's actually prices up to 90% off on a few of those things. Yeah, most of the prices are, I would say most are in the 40 to 60% off range, but there's a few that are deeper and there's a few that are less depending on what it was and my anxiousness to clear it off the shelves. All of it, there is no junk. There's absolutely no junk in this stuff. It is all good stuff. And why are we having such a huge sale? We're having a huge sale because we got 48 boxes of new stuff today and we have to have places to put them. It makes Brittany feel better about her world and finding places to put things when there's a lot moving out as the new stuff is coming in. So it's all first quality stuff. It's all our regular, beautiful products from around the world. It's just things that have been here for a little while and they need to move out to make room for new things to come in. I like this special hug for you. I'm going to put this for sure on one of these. Where's my scissors go? Okay, so I'm going to trim. I have just a little pink line above there I want to trim off. And I'm going to clip this down a little bit. And then I'm going to see which of my panels I like this best on. It would go cute on that one. I could make it 2 lines if I need to. Oh, I'm not so good on that one. Oh, here's a perfect one for it. I have a lot of room on that one. And I have a lot of room on that one. Which one do I want? This one actually has more writing room. This one doesn't have a lot of writing room. It just has, I'm going to put it on this one. I'm going to glue this down. And I'm going to add this special hug for you, which was just on the side of my paper. I'm going to put that right above this beautiful butterfly, right in this strip at the top here. Okay, let me show you my 4 layering cards. These are the ones I'm going to put on the sides of my box. You're right that this would be a great time for putting some of my quotes on here. Here's the one that I just put my little "a special hug for you" on. Writing, stamping, putting our sentiments on in different ways. Let's get some sentiments out here and see what we've got. Oh, we also have on the side here, ooh, I love these. This one says how beautiful you are to me. This one says friendship in bloom. This one says especially for you. This one says have a beautiful day. And this one says make a wish. I'm going to cut those out too, so that I can put those in the mix as I decide what goes where. Now I have all these beautiful little pieces of trim off that I could back these with. So I'm going to just go ahead and trim these out a little bit and use some of that trim off I just created to make little sentiments out of. Okay, let's see. So I love this, how beautiful you are to me. That's so pretty. Oh, I want that one on here. I like that. I like the way that looks. So I'm going to put this on there. Maybe. Can I have that glue bottle you had over there? This one's being pesky. I just need to take the nozzle off and really clean it. Okay.
Do you have any of the word dazzle?
Um,
Asking you or somebody else.
Word dazzles, yes. And in fact, you're getting the little words and phrases in silver. I think they're in silver. Actually, I'm not sure. I put them in silver, I think, on my sample cards. Little words and phrases in the Butterfly Dreams card kit. But we do have small words. I think they're called tiny words or small words and phrases. And we have like the happy birthday and some of those. Now, I think as a general rule, I'm not sure I would want to put foam squares behind these things, because with all the moving parts inside these cards, my concern would be that foam squares would get caught and things would end up tearing. So I put that one on here like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and center that just because I have all these lines here. So I put that one on here. How beautiful you are to me. I already had this little one. I should have backed that, but it's now glued down solid, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I like the make a wish here. That's pretty. Let's put that on a backer. These little cutoff pieces are just perfect to back these little sentiments we just cut off. And I know that I said as a rule of thumb, it's better to use tape than glue. I'm using glue on these just because it's faster, and I actually think they'll be fine inside the card too. But on the outside of cards, I generally advise tape rather than glue. To make a wish up here in this corner of this one. Okay, what have I got left? Friendship in Bloom. Oh, that looked nice there. A little big. Could probably trim it. Let's see what else I have. Especially for you, I could trim that one down a little bit. Of course, Friendship in Bloom could trim down a little bit too. Let's make this one a little bit smaller. And I think it'll fit better. That looks better. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this on some Mary. I might trim this a little bit. I'm going to trim my Mary down just a little bit extra so it's not taking up extra room around the sentiment. But we still kind of show it off with a little bit of extra light around it. I meant to use the other one and I just made this one. Oh well, this one will do. I meant to use the smaller one I just trimmed down, but this will be fine. Okay, now I got my panels and they have sentiments on them. So these are looking beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and put these on my card. Then I'm going to clean up my table just a little bit so I can see what I've got going here, because I have so many things. Don't throw any of these scraps because they have beautiful little pieces of art here and there that we can scavenge for our pretty box. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue these in here. We still have in our Brits Bargain area, we still have a few of those Kit 5 and Kit 6. They were showing sold out for a little while, but there was an error in the listing and we actually had more of them. So I put those back up. When you buy one at $24.95, you get the second one for $14.95. You put them both in your shopping cart. The price adjustment is automatic. So we still have quite a few of those if you want some quick, easy, fun Christmas cards to do. I know some of you make hundreds and hundreds of cards a year. I don't know if Merlin's listening, but I'm sure she will be later. She makes hundreds of cards a year for different causes. I think for, if I recall correctly, the American Cancer Society and maybe Easter Seals. I'm not sure about the other one, but she makes hundreds of cards a year and donates them to different causes. So I know that for her, time is of the essence in terms of getting a lot of cards done fairly quickly. Okay, look, it's already beginning to look extra fancy because of our mirror board edges showing. I think the next thing I want to do is put my little stamps on so I don't lose track of them, because I really like the way they look on the flaps, on my heart flaps. Oh, I think I want to do that next. There we go. That part's done. See how our bows are doing here. Ah, this is now finished. I'm going to cut a little whale tail here in the ribbon. Make my taco clip upward and out at an angle. There we go. And I'm going to flip the shinier side of the ribbon out. It kind of got turned a little bit. And I'm going to stick this in the box lid. Kind of at an angle, looks good. May trim those tails even shorter, but that looks good. Get our other one here. How's our time doing, honey?
Coming up to 6 o'clock.
Okay.
It says, James says hello.
Who said that?
Annette.
Oh, hi, James. Hello to you, too. Okay. This one on the outside of my box. Kind of at an angle also. These are beautiful box lids. All right, I'm going to take these little butterflies here. In fact, I actually want this tag because I love this one and these 4 butterflies. So I'm going to go ahead and clip those out. And I'm going to see if I have any scraps of Mary big enough to back these 4 butterflies. If I don't, I'll use a fresh piece because I did budget for enough mirror board to cover these. Okay, so we've talked about today, what if you make a mistake, or if you trace the wrong heart or something crazy, you could take a 4x4, fold it, or run it through use your board, put your 4x4 in here and run that diagonal line, and then fold it, put it over the affected flap, glue it in place, and then flip your box over and just trim around it as a repair to one of these hearts if one of the hearts doesn't come out right. We also talked about if you don't like the pattern that's wrapping around your card or wrapping around to the front when you are making the pocket, take some of the trim off pieces that you do like and just glue them over the flaps. We've done that. We have started our decoration with our back flaps and added some sentiments there. I want to go ahead and get these little butterflies in place because that's a quick hit that looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on real quick. It's the wrong glue bottle again. Where did the glue bottle go? Oh, I don't know what I just did. Oh, there it is. Chasing it across the table. So I'm going to back these with some mirror board. Look what a difference it makes just to get that extra little bit of Mary in there. Hi, Glenn. I'm happy to be here for you, Glenda. We've talked about making different kinds of pockets today. We've done the pockets. There's so many different kinds of pockets that you can do, and they're so easy. You can make pockets with half of one of the squares folded over and just leave the bottom part, trim that flap in half. You can make a pocket that's on the diagonal all the way around like we did on this one. You can use two flaps and bring them together like we did here. You can do a gatefold like we did on our first card. You can do a fold over like I did on the last one that I showed you, where I left room to put some pictures. I didn't cut my flaps at all. I just folded them over so I would have 3 panels for pictures. So you can leave extra room that way. There's lots of different configurations. You can cut the flaps clear off like we did on this one to allow room for pictures and sentiments. Okay, straighten that up just a little bit. You don't need a great big outline of Mary, just enough to grab attention, kind of catch the light. And these little ones I'm actually just using just a tiny border of mirror around it, just to catch the light and look extra special. It's my 4th tab, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on the flaps. And one of the things that Lauren said to me when she looked at this box is she wanted more decoration on the outside of the box. I didn't do that, but you could, and you will have some extra pieces of art. I want to show you a couple more ideas for that art. Okay, and I'll probably show you on my other card sample in order to save a little time here since we're beginning to run short on time now. Okay, get rid of some of this. Look over your pieces carefully before you toss anything. If there's a full butterfly in anything, keep it, because we can do some fussy cutting and save those little butterflies for here and there around your card. So don't throw away anything without looking at both sides of it. I think I'm safe with these little trim off pieces, but you know what I mean. I love this tag right here. I want to show you where I used that. Find it here. It looked so good right under one of these pockets. Here we go. Here's the tag. I mounted it on a little piece of trimmed off Mary, and then I fussy cut a butterfly and put on top. Isn't that pretty on my little pocket right at the bottom there? So that's what we can do with this one. I love just hanging the butterfly on it and then putting this right below the coat pocket. Let's glue these on. I like having the faith to fly showing there on this pocket. I love that, so I'm going to put this butterfly up on the other side. one right side up though. This one is a little bit distracting to have this wrought iron here. So I'm going to use a bright colored butterfly right over the top of that. And then your eye will be caught by the butterfly and not necessarily by what's behind it.
And I got to visit her huge collection of craft supplies today.
Was it a nice visit, isn't it? Okay. I like the dream on the other panel, so I'm going to put this butterfly here. And this one, I put all the others on the right side. So I'm going to put this one just for sense of balance. I'm going to put this one on the right side too. Don't those just add something there? I think that's really cute. Okay, so we've got our butterflies on there. Now we have lots of choices for these panels that we left blank. And this one, I'm going to say that 2.5 inch Mary should be just about right for that panel. I'm going to try it here, and then I can confirm for you that that's just the right size. I think a 2.5 inch square would be just right for this panel, and it is, which means you can get 4 panels from one of your 5 inch square pieces of Mary. So let's get that and that. Let's trim out some images for those. So we've got these fun ones. And let's see what else we've got here. We have this piece, which I think is beautiful. And we have this bird cage in the corner, which I think is beautiful. We also have these pieces, which are beautiful. So I'm just going to start trimming out some of these pretties to go on these 4 panels. I'll probably have to trim the art down a little bit. Just keep the parts you like the best. I'm actually, when I trim this one out, I kept a little bit of the green. What's that?
But he told her daughter that her inheritance is in her craft room. I'm not sure she was impressed.
That's what I should say to Lauren. That's good. That's good. I like that. That's pretty. I like this one with the bird cage behind it. I probably can't keep the whole bird cage and keep the both butterflies, but I bet I can get some of it. There we go. So I'm cutting my images to like 2.25 inches to fit these 2.5 inch squares. Put those on. see what else we have. This is beautiful. I like this one a lot. It's wide enough. It's 2 1/4. It will work. It's a little bit small, but I bet it'll look great on my panel. I'll just put it extra high. That'll look good in there. And I'm going to just set it up just a little bit extra so that the top border, which is the one that shows the most, will look great. So I have 3 of those. Now I need just 1 more. There's so many to choose from. My goodness. Ooh, I love this one. You also have some tags and stuff in here. You could fussy cut those tags down. Look at this beautiful one. I'm going to make this 2 1/4 square, which is going to be a perfect fit for that one. And now I have my 4 tags for that. For those, this really would be a great job for those little words and phrases from hot off the press. Just to put like single words on here or little tiny phrases. That would be beautiful on these corners of these. But even just like the word fly or freedom or grace, beauty, single words would be beautiful on here too. Dream. So many pretty ones. Just single words would be beautiful on these. And if you don't like your handwriting, like somebody said a little while ago, the computer journaling would be an excellent way to go. Just type them up and print them in a pretty font. That'd be great. This next tab in front of here, let's start talking about that. What we're doing. I think that fussy cut butterflies are beautiful on that tab right here. Let me show you what I did here. I just took some of, and you have plenty of this paper. I made sure that everybody had several, quite a few nice images. You can easily fussy cut these butterflies. Now what I did, just to make it easier on myself, is I cut the antenna off and then I just drew it back on with a black pen. And you can't even tell I did that, but that's what I did because it was way easier to cut that way. And I just added some little individual butterflies that matched the paper that wrapped around. See, if you fussy cut them out of here, they're going to match the wraparound images here. See that? So the style is a perfect match to come around and pick up some of those. I want to go through a few of our phrases with you so you can kind of see what you're going to get in the oops, there are no quotes. As I started out here saying today, there are no scriptures. There are lots of quotes, and then there's lots of phrases and little descriptive phrases about butterflies. But there are no scripture references to a butterfly. Not a single one. It's never mentioned in the Bible, other than as nature in general, you know. Okay, so we got those 4 flaps done. We've talked about fussy cutting on here, and you're not going to want to sit here and watch me fussy cut. So we'll fussy cut some to go on here. And then we've got our pockets for our phrases. We've talked a little bit about using like this. We'll put a little butterfly on here and put this tag on a piece of mirror board at the bottom of the pocket. That will look beautiful. So we have that. Let's look at some other phrases. I tried to make these so that they're all 2 inches or narrower. Not sure how I did, but I think I'm pretty close to 2 inches. Yeah, I made the margins a little wider so I could get these phrases down to being 2 inches wide. And there's all kinds of fun ones in here. We are but small butterflies in the garden of life. Someday worries will fly away. I love that one. May butterflies wake me every morning. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, she became a butterfly. She's like a butterfly, beautiful to look at, but hard to catch. I want to be free like a butterfly, flying and dancing with glee. A butterfly is a fascinating and mysterious, out of this world creature. A butterfly always reminds me that there's always beauty in the end of all pain. Butterflies are like flowers. Their advantage is they can touch the sky. Butterflies are the jewels of the green grass meadow, like how the sky has its stars. Some people are like butterflies. They can't see how lovely and stunning they are. Life is short. If you doubt me, ask a butterfly. Their average lifespan is a mere 5 to 14 days. That's a quote from Ellen DeGeneres. I only ask to be free. The butterflies are free is a quote from Charles Dickens. Butterflies are nature's angels. They remind us what a gift it is to be alive. There are so many really, really cool phrases on here. You're going to love them. So these are coming in your kit automatically. Feel free to photocopy. Feel free to, you're going to have, I don't even know, we have 4 full pages of quotes and phrases. And the good ones are really spread through the entire thing. As always, I'm going to tell you that I whipped in and put these together from a variety of different sources. If I saw a quote that I liked, it may be in here 2 times. It's okay. You're going to make more than 1 card, most likely. So butterflies float on a breeze like hair. As graceful as they can be, they dance in the air. Just beautiful. Love's a lot like a butterfly. It undergoes metamorphosis to achieve its most exquisite self. There's just really fun things in here. So you're going to have those. You can clip those, put those all over in here. You have plenty of room to add beautiful quotes in our pockets and things, on our extra panels. You have lots and lots and lots of art here. And like I said, I really recommend fussy cutting some of these. Now, like with this blue one, see all the frillies around there? I just went completely around the outside of the frillies. I cut off the antennae and drew them back on with a black pen. So this fussy cutting just doesn't have to be messy and awkward. This is really easy cutting to get these beautiful butterflies out of this background paper. And you are going to have plenty, plenty, plenty of artwork to cover all of your panels. You should have plenty of mirror board. You saw what all we did, and we still have sheets of mirror board left. So you're going to have plenty of mirror board. You should have plenty of ribbon. You're getting your papers, your artwork, your phrases and quotes, your ribbon. You will be all set and ready to go to make really, really beautiful. What if we already bought the pad from you? You will want to get a kit to get the butterfly quotes, and you should have enough butterfly quotes to do probably, Thelma, a total of 3 of these boxes. If you get the kit and then use your pad also, you should be able to do 3 boxes.
Without pad is what she's asking.
I do not have the kit without a pad this time. If you already have the pad, though, you're going to have extra supplies to help you put the kit together. And if you have purchased one butterfly box, I will make the quotes available to you. If you want more than one set of quotes, just tell me in your order notes, and I'll add another set of quotes for you if you want an extra set. Did you guys enjoy this? Was this fun? Did we pick up a few little things here and there? Do you see now that it doesn't have to be a perfect match with the backs of that you don't have to have a perfect match on the backs of your paper, because we can come in and we can piece the pieces that we think are beautiful and just lay those right over the other panels, especially where we are clipping the corners off. You could just glue those corners right back in where they look the prettiest. So it's a fun, pretty, easy project. And you're going to have lots and lots of fun doing these. I think it's plenty sturdy. It's not 300 GSM paper, but it's not flimsy paper either. It's definitely going to be a gift that you're proud to give. Yeah, I love the results too. Whoever would think that orange and pink could be so pretty together too? I think the orange and pink with the green is just stunning. And then that bright orange hits you when you open it up, and you have all those beautiful, almost citrusy kinds of colors in this set. But there's lots of Heartfelt Creations pads that are just going to be really, really good, matches for this. Let's take do I know where my cards are for Saturday? I was going to say we'll take a final look at those, but do I know where they are in this messy, messy desk? Yes, I do know where they are. They're right here. Here's our cards for Saturday using the same paper pack. Now, this kit's a little bit more expensive, but it includes the $15 Jamie die to make these beautiful panels. And you are going to have such fun with these panels. When we look at this, we'll look at some home decor projects that he's done using these panels. They're beautiful. And you can actually, make beautiful wall decor using these panels. So here's the first of our cards. And remember, you can add your own gems if you want to, but I'm including because the kit was getting a little bit more expensive than I was comfortable charging for it, I switched from the gemstones to using the jewel dazzles throughout. I think you'll agree that they add lots of beautiful sparkle. So they're going to be fine, but where you see gems, they will be jewel dazzles instead when we do these. We have a total of 7. I thought we had 7 cards. I think we do. 3, 5, 6. I may be missing one here. Oh, 6 or 7 cards anyway. And this one, I wanted you to see with these just how easy it is to create beautiful cards out of those Heartfelt Creations paper pads. The Heartfelt Creations are really an underutilized resource in our store. We have so many beautiful pads available, and you can get so much out of a pad. Now, I know they're $24.95, which is not cheap. There's cheaper paper pads out there, but you can get so much out of these. I'm going to get 2, I believe, in fact, I know that you can get 2 box cards, 2 explosion box cards, and still have papers left over to finish up and use your leftover papers to make beautiful cards out of this Heartfelt Creations, which was my whole objective in doing this project, was to introduce you to exactly what you can get out of these Heartfelt Creations paper pads. And I also wanted to show you these fun panels from Jamie Rogers. So we'll do these on Saturday. And is there any question, comment, or pearls of wisdom that anybody would like to ask or share before we move on? That's a good question, Brenda. Do they have more sheets than most? I tell you, they have an awful lot of elements in them. Let's see, 24 double-sided pages is a lot. I don't know if they're bigger than most, but I will say that I think that the artwork is above and beyond the norm in these Heartfelt Creations pads, because every page is a work of art and every page is designed to help you be successful, whether you're making albums or cards or explosion boxes. Every page is designed to make those projects beautiful for you. Add a little mirror board, as you said, Betty, add some stickles, and you have real beauty with these. Okay, I think that if there are no other questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom, we'll say I'll see you on Saturday, and good night, Gracie. Thanks for hanging out with me. Mash that like button if you didn't do it already, please. Thank you.